Prepare yourself for an incredibly touching tale. Witness the heart-rending journey of a melancholic canine who solemnly participated in his beloved owner's funeral. Yet the profound act that followed is guaranteed to evoke a cascade of tears from even the most stoic of hearts. The unwavering affection our furry companions harbor for us is an undeniable truth, evident in their expressive eyes that convey emotions words cannot capture. Within this tale lies a testament to an extraordinary bond between a devoted dog and his beloved human, brimming with unwavering adoration and the promise of newfound hope. In a quaint farming village resided an elderly gentleman named Micah, whose life had been intertwined with the land he tended for countless seasons. However, as age advanced, Micah found himself unable to toil the fields any longer. Meanwhile, his son had ventured to the bustling city and flourished in his chosen career. Micah held immense pride in his son's accomplishments and cherished him dearly, yet bidding farewell to the farm and relocating to the village weighed heavy on his heart. While his son earnestly desired Micah's presence within his own family's abode, the village held a special place in Micah's heart, a sanctuary he couldn't bear to part with. Despite being unable to toil the soil as he once did, Micah continued to embark on long walks alongside the fields, imparting invaluable wisdom to young farmers, nurturing their potential and bolstering their harvests. Eager minds sought his guidance, and Micah delighted in assisting them, their inquiries a joyous symphony to his experienced ears. Micah's son, Alexei, took comfort in the fact that his father took his old sheepdog with him to the village. They had spent their life together and wouldn't be parted, but the old dog became sick and blind, and Micah finally had to say goodbye to his constant companion. It was heartbreaking. Alexei, who often came to visit, begged his dad to get another dog to heal his heart. But Micah felt that he was too old, but he became very lonely without his old friend. It was a hole in his heart that couldn't be filled. Everyone knew the love that he had for animals. Now he had none to care for, still with weary bones. He got up each day to take a morning walk. After more than 70 years of getting up early, he couldn't change that now. As he was walking along that cold morning, he heard one of the young farmers calling to him. He came running to Micah with a little bundle in his hands. Before Micah could even respond, the young man put a puppy in his arms. The sweet pup yawned and licked Micah's fingers. Micah's heart softened, but he told the young man sternly that he didn't want a new dog. The young man explained that this puppy was the smallest of the litter. His one leg was slightly shorter than the others too, and he wouldn't make a good working dog. If Micah didn't take him, he would have no home. They couldn't keep him on the farm. What would happen to him without anyone to look after him? Micah looked down again, right into dark brown eyes staring back at him. A little button nose was sniffing in the air. He couldn't say no. He knew that the young man was likely only trying to repay his kindness, but the thought that this puppy wouldn't have anyone to love him was just too much to bear. Micah put the puppy inside his jacket, and the young man smiled. He promised he would bring some food to Micah's house later that day. That way the old man wouldn't have to carry on his own from the village shop. Micah knew that he had no more choice. His heart would not allow him to let the dog go to another home. He looked down at the now sleeping puppy and his heart filled with love. That's why he called the pup Amy short for Amor. Amy was a very clever dog. He quickly learned to take long walks with Micah and to take care of him. He even brought the old man his walking stick before they went out. The entire village knew and they loved him for the joy that he brought back into Micah's life. Alexei was overjoyed the next time he came to visit with his wife and saw that his father had a new friend. But the good news didn't stop there. Alexei had come to bring his father fantastic news. Micah's first grandchild was on his way. Alexei was going to have his own son. It was wonderful news indeed. Amy did a happy dance and barked along with the family, although he had no idea what they were celebrating. His family's joy was his own. Amy grew up and learned not to chase every rabbit and squirrel they met on their walks. He learned to love the quiet times sitting in front of the fire with Micah. Wherever they went, they were always together. They even went on a massive adventure to the city one day. The city wasn't that far from the village, and there was a train you could take to get there early one morning instead of going on their walk. Micah put Amy on a leash, and they got on the train. There were all sorts of wonderful smells for a dog to enjoy. In the city, they disembarked the train and strolled a few blocks. They halted in front of an exquisite house adorned with fragrant flowers. Micah rapped on the door and Alexei greeted him, granting entrance. Together, they ventured inside, where Amy glimpsed the new baby in a crib, fragile, emitting a pleasant scent, and in need of protection. Amy nestled beside the crib, relishing their heartwarming visit. However, Micah pined for the vast expanses of the village, prompting their return home after a brief stay. They revisited a few times, witnessing Little Mick's growth, as he eventually joined Amy in playful activities. While Mick flourished, Micah aged, and though the family pleaded for him to dwell with them, he jestingly claimed Amy's guardianship sufficed. He yearned for his village abode until one morning, Amy awoke for their customary walk, only to find Micah motionless. Resting his head on the still chest, Amy emitted a tender whimper bidding farewell. The village inhabitants grew concerned when Micah skipped his customary morning walk. Hastening to check on him, they discovered the aged man lying peacefully with his loyal companion by his side. Alexei was alerted, and a funeral was organized in town, where it was unanimously agreed that Amy should be present, for he had been there through every other phase of Micah's life. Silently, Amy nestled beside the casket until it was conveyed to the cemetery and interred. Despite Alexei's persistent efforts to bring the dog home, Amy resisted, eluding their attempts to leash him. Unresponsive to their calls, Amy remained resolute. Reluctantly, they entrusted the villagers with his care during their absence. A dog whose love for his owner ran deep now mourned with equal intensity. Throughout the day, he lay beside Micah's grave at the cemetery, returning home each night to slumber in their shared bed. The village and Alexei had left it open for him, providing a sanctuary. Despite well-meaning attempts to feed him, Amy consumed only the bare essentials. Amy's heartache eclipsed his appetite. Whenever Alexei approached to bring him home, he sought refuge in the familiar woods they once traversed together. The time for departure had not yet arrived. Then, one day, Alexei sat alongside Amy in the cemetery, earnestly expressing his father's profound love for the faithful dog. They all yearned for Amy's presence. Mick longed for him. However, they understood that coercion was not the answer. Alexei conversed with Amy, hoping that some understanding would transcend the language barrier. But as the dog remained motionless, Alexei reluctantly departed, vowing to try again another day. The sorrow-stricken canine pined for his departed owner, yet gradually he started reclaiming his canine essence. He consumed modest portions, even chasing a rabbit on occasion. However, it was his subsequent action that would leave you teary-eyed. Early one morning, Amy rushed to the cemetery, his customary pilgrimage, but this time he merely stood at Micah's grave for fleeting moments, bidding a heartfelt goodbye. Then, with a surge of determination, he darted off, leaping onto a passing train. The train carried him to the bustling city, and instinct led him to disembark at the familiar stop. Following his nose, he sprinted down the well-known path, stopping in front of a quaint house adorned with blooming flowers. There he barked persistently until Alexia and her family emerged, astounded by the sight before them. Emmy had made the decision to reunite with them. Though he would forever cherish his master's memory, this was still his family, and together they would rediscover happiness and embrace the warmth of joy once more. What do you think of this loyal dog? Let us know in the comments section. Thank you.